We back. We back. We don't fuck around. We just gonna get right into it. I done been through exes, I done been through best friends, so it would seem the game is all I was left with. So I eat tracks till I get
Man, I'm John
indigestion.
Common, born and raised in Flint, Michigan. Flint is hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Flint is the definition of hip hop because when you think of hip hop, you think of a culture that started from nothing. It started from, the Bronx and started in the hoods and ghettos and started as a way of just being happy in a situation that, most people would give up in. And Flint is the definition of that. It's a city that is poverty stricken, but at the end of the day, we have a hope and an optimism that makes us never give up and never quit. Some of my influences in hip hop, what made me start rapping in the first place was I was real deep into Southern hip hop. Master P, No Limit, you know what I'm saying? Cash Money. I'm talking about when it was just the Hot Boys and the Big Timers, you know what I'm saying? 3 6 Mafia, those were some of my influences as far as hip hop. And then also my sister was listening to Tupac, Biggie, there's a Detroit artist, female by the name of Boss, that I came up really listening to Missy, Timbaland. I'm an 80s baby, man, so that 90s era is really what got me into hip hop. My influences also come from, East Coast rap in the sense that, when I first decided that I was going to be an MC along with being a producer, I started listening to Nas, I started listening to Noriega, I started listening to Biggie. I just started listening to all these MCs, Jay-Z, because in the East Coast, it was like they were wordsmiths. It was like that slick talk, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like far as lyricism and double entendres and things like that, that's where I picked that up from, was like the East Coast. My top 5 is funny. It's 6 people in my top 5 and somebody got to share a spot. And this is in no particular order. Biggie, Pac, Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, and Lil Wayne. Somebody and somewhere, somebody got to share a spot, but that's my top 5, man. When Tupac died, even though we had never met this man before, I feel like because his message was so universal, every city and state felt like Tupac was theirs. So I remember I was in my living room, me and my sister listening to the radio, and I remember the first song that they played after, it was announced that he got shot was Tupac, Lost Souls. And to this day, when I hear Lost Souls, it takes me back to that night when Tupac got shot. When Biggie died, I more so remember the week that he died. And I can remember just things being on TV and on the radio and just all of the specials that they were having about Biggie. And it had an impact on me like, wow, I can't believe that, these two dudes who are in the prime of their lives, in the prime of their careers, are dying over music. How did art get this serious to where, we're dying over it? And how did a disagreement between two people turn into something so massive? And it was honestly just a sad day. This was around the time that I was on Aftermath and working on an album there and working with Dre. And so I met with Mikey Keys, and Nipsey came through the studio and was very welcoming and inviting. And it was like just the energy was just like, you cool. It was like he reminded me of somebody that I would meet in Flint, just his aura and his nature. It wasn't anything that was standoffish or industry about dude. Like it was just real. Dead or alive, if I had the opportunity to work with anybody, just to be in his presence, man, I would have to say Michael Jackson, for me. But damn, this is about hip hop. Cut. Flint has influenced my music because I feel like in my voice, when I rhyme, you can hear the pain that I feel for my city and for how we grew up and how we came up. I feel like through my lyrics, you can hear like just the street smarts that you had to have like growing up in Flint. It's like I am Flint, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like You know, my first rhymes that I ever wrote was on my mother. All I had was a karaoke machine sitting on my mama's porch writing rhymes until the sun went down. So Flint influenced me and influences my music because that's who I am. There's a certain nature, there's a certain dog that's in you when you come from Flint that I can't hide when I'm on the mic, man. New Young Cat. It's a cat, honestly, far as new young cats that I'm listening to right now, it's a new young cat from my city named Ace Gabbana from Flint, Michigan, that I think is gonna set the world on fire because he has that new generation bounce, and then he got that Flint dog in him that we talking about, but then at the same time, he's a lyrical dude, so I don't know if the world done seen nothing like him, so I gotta put on for my city, man. It's really, what can you say? Dr. Dre is one of the greatest to ever do this thing that we do, to ever produce hip hop music. And so far as musically, what he did to me is he taught me to trust my instincts. He taught me to not second guess your gift. You know, be sure of what your gift is, and that's what makes you special, is that your perspective is your perspective, and always trust in and believe in your instincts. And that's what I learned from that dude. I mean, among so many other things that I met, but just to keep it short and sweet, I think that by being up under the Dr. Dre learning tree, I learned that trust your gift, don't second guess your instinct, and put your all into it. Put 110% into it is what I learned from Dre. And yes, every artist should still get butterflies as long as they doing this. And I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'll say, yes, I still get butterflies because it's like, let's say it's like dating a woman you love, right? You're gonna get butterflies every time you do something special for her because you know you want her to like it. You want her to love it, right? So it's like, I love hip hop. I love music. So every rhyme I write, I still get butterflies when I put it out because it's like, oh, I hope this good. Every rhyme I write, every time I hit a stage, every time I do anything, because this thing that we do is such a blessing. I would say the record I'm probably most proud of, and you know, I'm sure, like, you know, people would think that it's songs that got more attention or the more popular songs that I've done, but for me, man, the song that I'm most proud of it's a joint that I did called Fresh Water for Flint, and I did it. It's featuring Keke Palmer, and it was produced by my guys, the Freshmen. I'm most proud of that joint because I was in the middle of working on an album, but my city was in the middle of going through a crisis where my people back home was having to, and still are, having to take showers with bottled water, where little kids were actually getting sick and dying from the poison in this water. I'm being the only artist from Flint, Michigan, not from the outskirts of Flint, North Side Flint, Civic Hood, that's where I'm from. My mom's is in the midst of the whole space where everybody having to take bottled water showers and all of that. My mother is still there at that time while I'm out in California, and it meant something to me. It's like, I gotta say something. I have to give a soundtrack to this mess that my city is going through because really ain't nobody hearing them. You know what I'm saying? And as the artist from Flint that had a record deal on, you know, one of the most celebrated labels, Aftermath, it's like, I gotta say something. You know, so for me, the song that I'm most proud of is Fresh Water for Flint, because that's what I feel like hip hop is here for. We all could dance all day long. It's enough dancing songs, but when I started loving hip hop, it was because every coast was like a news station reporting to, hey, if y'all on the West Coast, y'all telling the story to the people on the East Coast about what the hoods is like on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Down South, they was reporting to us in the Midwest what the hoods was like down South. So once again, I got a chance to make hip hop that news station that it started off being, where I got to, out of my mouth, tell the whole world what exactly we was going through. That, yeah, it's an industry dude, it's a dude that's in the industry from Flint, Michigan. That family is going through that right now, and I'm about to tell y'all exactly what's going on, how we feel about what's going on, what I got a chance to put a voice to these pictures that people were seeing on the news every day.